Howdy howdy my fellow gamers, Freak from Gamers of the Roundtable here bringing you another top video. It's our favorite time of year, spoopy season. In honor of October and horror and whatnot, we're going to bring you all our top 13 horror movies of all time. Before we dive in, let's take a look at some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. Starting off our list at unlucky number 13 is the 2012 supernatural thriller Sinister, directed by Scott Derrickson and starring Ethan Hawke, inspired by a nightmare the writer had after watching The Ring. The movie follows Hawke's character desperately trying to have another big hit as he moves his family into a house where the previous family had all been killed on tape. The authenticity of the Super 8 film and the eeriness and brutality of the films, combined with the silent number 7 from Slipknot. Oh, wait. No, I mean this guy, Bagul, a Babylonian deity who is the stuff of nightmares, which is fitting considering how Sinister came to be. Next on our list, and Doom's number 2 pick, is the 1973 critically acclaimed film The Exorcist, the film that spawned a whole new type of horror movie and made you religious for one night, or laugh a lot at the dated effects. Hope you don't like pea soup. Directed by William Friedkin, starring Ellen Burstyn and Jason Miller, the production is often referred to as possessed or haunted, which caused lots of controversy due to the nature of the content because of the fact that most of the set burned down and Blair and Burstyn suffered long-term injuries. The film follows a mother's desperate attempt to save her daughter from demonic possession with the help of 2 priests. Following up one classic is another, Wes Craven's 1984 slasher, introducing one of the most iconic slashers of all time, A Nightmare on Elm Street, featuring Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger hunting, chasing, and killing a group of teenagers in their dreams as they slept. Featuring the haunting children's song and great effects for its time, it really called to question the myth that if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. Beginning our top 10 is a movie that was a sleeper hit and came out of nowhere for me, but really stuck with me. Autopsy of Jane Doe. Directed by Andre Orvidal, starring Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox, we see a father-son team perform an autopsy on a Jane Doe, as mysterious unexplainable events occurring. Walkable corpses, unburnable bodies, scapegoats, and more. The plot took a turn I was not expecting and that I originally hated because I felt it was a cop-out, but after stewing on it, I really liked it and it left me wanting more. Just make sure to listen for the jingle of a bell. Taking the number 9 spot is the 2002 cult phenomenon Gore Verbinski's The Ring, and Kronos' number 1 pick. Starring yet again Brian Cox and Naomi Watts, this movie scared the shit out of me. The eerie phone calls of 7 days, the unnerving video, Samara. The film did everything right for a horror movie as we watch a sister investigate her sister's unexplainable yet gruesome death while dragging others into danger. Number 8 is yet another Wes Craven film, no surprise there. Starring Drew Barrymore, David Arquette, and more, we watched The Satire. What made Scream so good was its self-awareness at how ridiculous some horror movies are while still giving us one of the most iconic slashers in the genre, Ghostface. We watch as Sidney Prescott is terrorized around the anniversary of her mother's murder, while all around her people she knows keep dropping like flies. It was the highest grossing slasher film of all time until the 2018 remake of Halloween. Breaking in at the 7th slot is one of my personal favorites, Ridley Scott's Alien. Starring Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley as she and the crew of the Nostromo come across a terrifying, perfect killing machine. Combining sci-fi and horror, Alien really made you think about the depths of space and what could lay beyond. It also brought us the incredibly designed and badass Xenomorph. Go Team Alien! Sorry, Predator. Slotting in at number 6 is Friday the 13th Part 3. Why Part 3? Because that's when it all truly began, where Jason Voorhees became one of the greatest horror slasher icons of all time. Jason gets his mask. Directed by Steve Miner, starring Dana Kimmel and Richard Brooker, we watch a usual Friday the 13th film. Teenagers, Crystal Lake, murder. Need we say more? But come on, man, it's Friday the 13th. Breaking into the top 5, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Number 5 is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson and Danny Lloyd. Based off Stephen King's novel of the same name, we watch as a family accept the caretaking job at the Overlook Hotel in Colorado Rockies. It's the off-season, so they're alone, which allows Nicholson's character to focus on the novel he wants to write, but we slowly watch as his sanity deteriorates. Meanwhile, his son Danny starts discovering the hotel's grim past through his special ability called The Shining. Truly a must-watch for any horror fan, but remember, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Dominating the 4th spot on our list is yet another Stephen King rendition, It. Take your pick from the original or remake, both are true masterpieces, both dominated by the actors portraying the flagship terror of the franchise, Pennywise the Clown. Brought to life in Tommy Lee Wallace's 1990 rendition by Tim Curry and in Andy Muschietti's 2017 reboot by Bill Skarsgård, the film tells the tale of an evil entity who emerges in the small town of Derry every 27 years to feed, primarily on children, but not before it seasons them with terror by showing them their greatest fears. So that's a hard pass for me because I hate snakes.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane!
We follow the Losers Club in their journey of unity, friendship, and hope to face this adversity both as children and adults. Hope you're not scared of clowns. Sorry, Doom. Cracking into the top 3, we get to the film that really brought the slasher genre to the forefront of horror. Yes, we know Texas Chainsaw Massacre technically came first, but there is no denying the impact, the terror, the hate, the evil, those dead-ass eyes. Michael Myers. From John Carpenter's Halloween, starring Donald Pleasant and Jamie Lee Curtis, we watch as Michael Myers escapes from his asylum 15 years after murdering his sister to return to his hometown of Haddonfield on Halloween night to begin the terror anew. What follows is a true masterpiece of the horror genre and film. The number 2 spot goes to my personal number 1 pick and is none other than James Wan's 2004 Saw. Starring Tobin Bell, Danny Glover, and Cary Elwes, we watch a masterpiece of psychological terror and gore as 2 men are pitted against each other in a locked bathroom with high stakes. Billy the Puppet freaked me out as a kid, and the reality of the fact that someone could easily do something like this was haunting. The pig mask was also an instant scare, and I loved watching all the other traps and machinations from the mastermind that is Jigsaw. Saw is the film that got me into horror films. Taking the number 1 spot, and this was a difficult one to pick, one of my personal favorites, and Wolf's number 1 pick, James Wan's 2013 phenomenon that took the horror fanbase by storm, The Conjuring. Starring Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren, we watch as the couple of paranormal investigators come to the aid of the Perron family, who are starting to witness more and more unnerving events in their home, including, spoiler alert, the murder of their dog. This is a golden rule, okay? You don't kill the dog. Ever. And of course, the 4 words that always add that extra layer of fear into any horror film, based on true events. Even if you don't believe in ghosts and demons and whatnot, there's no denying that The Conjuring was well shot, produced, executed, and scary. Hell, The Conjuring 2 was even better, but we're picking the first one since it started it all. Let us know what you thought of our top 13 horror movies of all time. What are your favorites? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share, and feel free to check out all the links down below. Shout out to our very first ever patron, Kiwi. Thank you all for watching, and as always, stay freaky.